Okay, everybody, hello.
Hello.
My name is Steve Seidel. We're filming this video. I own a marketing company. I'm the founder. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about marketing your practice. And so, just a little bit about me. Some of my previous clients were Mira Dry. I've worked with Chris, New Male Medical Center, Asandra MD, various other components. But my goal really was, since childbirth, was to help people. And so, Hardik talked a little bit about really knowing who you are and being unique. And what's your story? And so my story personally was, I really wanted to be a dad. That was my biggest dream. I became a dad, and now I'm like, okay, what's next? My next story is I want to leave a legacy for my daughter. And so for some people, it's about making money. Some people, it's about inspiring people. That's partly another mission of mine. But so this is my vehicle, and your practice is your vehicle for whatever your dreams are. So really focus in on your dreams and your mission. So we talked a little bit about the aesthetics industry as a whole. You'll notice there's some of the numbers in terms of the quantity of the treatments. This is a survey from AS, the Aesthetics Plastic Society, Plastic Surgery. And so you'll see breast aug, lipo, nose, eyelid, and then the top 5 over here. This is what you guys are all here for, primarily. But with your med spas, you have the Botox, you have the fillers, chemical peels, microdermabrasion. So this is all around your face. So this is your appearance, and this is improving your appearance, but it's also inside of you. Your beauty could be outside of you, but really it comes from within you. And when these patients come in, you want to empower them. You want to make them feel special. You want to satisfy them. You want them to have a great time visiting you. So they tell all your friends, just like Lana talked about. And then other people start coming in due to word of mouth marketing. So beauty is not just your skin, it goes deeper than that. So these are various channels that you can use. You can use your website. So this is more of a marketing speech as a whole. I'm just going to kind of grace the surface. Social media, we talked a lot about Instagram and Facebook. Some of you even found out about this through Facebook. So there's value right then and there. It doesn't cost you any money to set up these profiles. Email newsletters, here's a couple of tools here. TV, radio, and magazines are a little bit more long form, a little bit more costly, but you can do it. You can create your own PR and your public relations. In-office materials, your brochures, your business cards. You can use Vistaprint. There's so many tools out there right now where you can create your marketing materials, your custom content, as well as your third-party services, which are other things that you'll start to get involved in as you grow. One of the things that I like to focus on, and I highly suggest, is the power of 3. Keep it super simple. They say the KISS method. Keep it simple, specific. Sometimes people say stupid, but whatever. So the first step is really building your brand. Hardik talked about what's your brand, who are you? You're not just selling Botox. You're not selling fillers. You're selling yourself. Who are you? Really build that brand. And then the second component, you're going to want to tell your story. What's your story? Why are you here today? What brought you to where you're at? So really tell that to all the people that come in there so that they know about you. And then they get to become empathetic and like you. And then lastly, you're going to make an impact. When they come in, you're not only going to impact them, you're going to impact their family members. You're going to impact the entire community around you. So that's how you can connect, which is the first step while you build your brand. Build that community, your little army, and then finally you're going to convert. You're going to propel your prospects and your leads and to become paying patients to return time and time again. So here's a couple steps. First, like I said earlier, define your expertise and your top procedures. Know what you're really good at. Secondly, your why. I call this your why power. Some people say willpower, but this is your why power. Why do you do what you do? It could be making money, which is fine, but if that's what it is, then that's your sole motivation. But for me, it goes deeper than that, and I hope that for all of you, you have a reason why you're doing what you're doing. Be a hero. Save our day. When somebody comes in there, you want to make them happy. They leave, they're like, wow. There's a really great book. It's called... It's from Joseph Campbell. It's the hero story, and it talks about your practice is like a movie. You have your first act. You meet your people. You meet your practices. You meet the people at the front desk. It's everybody. Then the second act, there's a big, climax that you're coming to. And that moment at the end of Act 2 is called All is Lost, where you're not quite sure where you're going to go. And that's where you're at right now. You're going to rise up and be the hero. And that's that third act when you stand up on the stage and you say, I did it. You did it with your patients, and they share your story. So some of the things that are important are your tone, your voice, your style, and this is all going to indicate, you might like green, you might like blue. Blue is known for honesty. That's kind of why I chose this color blue. As well as securing your Gmail. You can use the Gmail to really get your social media profiles. So if you haven't gotten your brand name, for me, it's the Seidel Agency. I also work with a company called Ciarna, so we secure all of those social media domains so that nobody else can get them, and you own them, and you have standard branding. Here's some tools, and then you're going to get to your logo, your website, and your branding, and really putting forth what makes you unique. So here's a style guide that we've developed for some of our clients. You'll see it's all different. You know, some people are a little bit more rough around the edges, some people have curvatures, but really define your style, and if you have specific colors, blues, purples, really integrate that throughout your marketing, both in and outside of your office. I'm going fast because I know you got a lot to do. So build your brand. This is a social media example. So some of the top sites are Facebook, which we've talked about. That's the largest social media platform in existence, and there's 1/4 of the world's population on that. So if you don't have a social media Facebook page, you got to get one. Secondly, Instagram is the fastest growing platform, and it's strategically placed around aesthetics. Ding, ding, ding. You guys are in the aesthetics industry. So get on there, and just like Lana talked about, it's really, really beneficial for you to even share your experiences because it's actually driving appointments. Dr. Asandra back here was just telling me about a few people that saw his video. They messaged him, and now they're clients. We would suggest, like I said before, the power of 3. So Facebook and Instagram, I think, would be imperative for you guys, but you know, it's up to whatever you think is most important. Maybe you know a bunch of people on Twitter, then you could go on there. And then there's potential software where you can actually schedule posts. Facebook lets you do that. Hootsuite, Sprout Social, so then you can just lay it all out and just hit send, and it'll do it out for the rest of the week. And then you can create content, which is free, royalty-free images of smiling faces, you know, videos. If you want to do video, that's really effective. Really got to know your audience. So you all are probably B2C. Some of you might be B2B, but really determine who your key audience is. Lana suggested earlier, it could be Latino, it could be Asian, it could be millennials. If it's millennials, you need to know where millennials are. What do they like to do? Where do they like to shop? What do they like to eat? Start pairing what you're presenting to them as a package program. So maybe they like to eat pizza. You know, after you have your pizza, come get your Botox. Fun stuff like that will share your practice, and people will become interested. So this is telling your story. So once you get started, you can launch your listings, set up social media, set up your business profile so that people can find you. Yelp, Google, Yellow Pages, wherever you think is best for your own individual practice. And then you want to standardize your branding so it's consistent. So if your name is like the Seidel Agency, if you look across all social media, the Seidel Agency is secured. Figure out some hashtags. So hashtag Botox, hashtag fillers. These are all huge hashtags that on Instagram, people will search them, and if you have content around that, then they can discover you. Just like she was discussing, people from the Dominican Republic. How do you think people find doctors in the Dominican Republic? They do a hashtag for butt lift or whatever it may be. So go local too. Don't just worry about internet, but go local. Do some community events. Donate your time. Go to the church. Go to all these local community businesses so that you can share the word. Go in your supermarket. Put a pin board up. Another thing, get social. So interact with your social communities. And lastly, you're going to drive leads. And by doing that, you can do paid methods such as Google AdWords. You can do Facebook ads, Instagram ads. And there's several other ways to do that. But do ensure that people can find you. If they go to your Instagram or your Facebook and there's no email or no phone number, it's as good as throwing it in the trash. And if you have a website, if your phone number isn't at the top or there's no lead form for them to fill out or contact form before scrolling down, then that's a lost opportunity as well. Because if they have to scroll down, it's called below the fold, you might not see them. And if you have multiple procedures, put them on every page. So this is another, a few doctors that we've worked with where essentially we create this image, their style, so that it's interesting. People want to look at it. They enjoy it. And so partly, these social media platforms are great to drive. You'll see here, there's the listing, their websites. You want to make it interesting so that when they come back, they know that they want to come back again. It's almost like having your own TV show. And you should be posting multiple times during that week. So once, if not twice per day, but if you guys are starting out, do it once a week, but know that every Monday you're going to do a post so that people are tuning into you. Earned, owned, and paid. So owned is going to be things that you create. You own them. That's going to be your content, whether it's your website or your social media. Your earnings are what you have other people doing for you. They're almost like your workers. So if they share your posts, if they come in, you give them a flyer, they hand it to your friends. You want to start getting them to do some of the heavy lifting for you, but make sure you have the foundation. And then lastly, paid content is Google ads, Facebook ads, and other ways to promote your practice by paying for it. And we can talk a little bit about that afterwards if you're interested. So what's better? You need a balanced approach. It's going to be different for each user, but you want to do it per practice and really figure out what you want to do. So if you guys are looking to reach millennials, focus on Snapchat or Instagram or different platforms that people are active on. So making an impact, converting the patients. First, you want to give something. It's always better to give than to receive. So, whether that's a coupon, we don't want to dilute your services with Groupon, but you can give a 20% off or a referral for your friends. And then secondly, you ask them to give you a review. Never give anything for, just for that. You want to get something in return, so you're building that relationship. It's give and it's take. And then you're going to share those success stories. If somebody's giving you a write-up, put it on Facebook, put it on Yelp, put it on all those links, and even create content around it where there's just an image and it has the person's name. Gabby, 24, loved my Botox, I feel like a superstar. Activate your friends and family. And then lastly, you're going to want to amplify those efforts. So different campaigns that you can continue to raise the awareness. Lead nurturing, really want to know what your niche is. You want to nurture them. Create these patient personas. Maybe you're in Idaho. I heard you say Idaho, I think, earlier. So maybe it's housewives that are 35 to 40 and they want to feel better about themselves and go to their soccer games. Great. Now I'm going to do a soccer post so that everybody else can relate to that. So really create those personas and know what the bottom line is. Maybe you want to get 2 of them per week. Give yourself a goal, write it down so that it's attainable. Answering questions, ask people that are following, ask questions. Do you have any questions? Take that question and repurpose it. Because if they're asking, other people are asking too. And then you can target based on some of these questions that people are asking. And just do micro conversions. The first one is, hey, did somebody call me? Okay, great. The next one is setting an appointment. The next one is once they come in, do they book the appointment? So find different ways to just climb that ladder step by step. And then you're going to analyze your results and do it all over again. One of the most important things right now is video. You'll see we're recording a bunch of videos. If you're not doing video, I can't say it enough. And there's a bunch of statistics here based on the way that emails boost your click-through rates. That's what this means. Click-through rate is basically somebody that clicks on it and then goes to the next step. But people are a lot more interested in videos and they don't have time to repost. So give them a quick video. It could be 6 seconds. It could be 9 seconds. It could be a boomerang video, which is on Instagram, where it just be slow motion getting their Botox. Just fun stuff like that people are going to want to see. And then this is a video. I'm going to show you a video after that. So in summation, keep it real simple. 1, 2, 3. You want to stand out. Because like Hardik was saying, everybody's entering this industry. What makes you stand out? And what makes you stand out is you. Everybody in here. Your uniqueness. So share that why power, why you do what you do, and then deliver positive branding. Make sure that you get your website set up. You have a few social media profiles just to start with. And Anna Wintour said, create your own style, let it be unique. That's you. And secondly, you really want to put your audience first. If you don't have fans and you don't have patients, you got nobody to talk to. So put your audiences first. You'll see a lot of people on TV, talking about their fans, whether it's Taylor Swift. Because without their fans, they don't exist. And without your audience and your fans, there's no practice. So really know who they are, test around that, ask them questions, and use those insights. This is something that I made up, but a happy patient is never complacent. They're going to come back. They're not going to sit there. They're going to tell friends. They're going to do things on your behalf because they like you and they want to work with you. And lastly, release the troops. Get your customers as well as your patients. I used to work at Disney, and they never called people customers. They called them all guests because they wanted to invite you in, and they wanted to bring you in. So whether you're calling them customers, guests, whomever, make them feel like your family, and then they can become an army for you and preach on your behalf. And then really focus on 1 or 2 platforms, whether it's social media is what I've been talking about, but it could be other things, whether it's Real Self or other platforms. And there's a guy by the name of Gary Vaynerchuk. You may or may not have heard his name, Gary V. He's huge now with millennials because he's all about motivating people and getting them going. And his biggest thing is word of mouth. So like Lana said earlier, if somebody did a treatment with 20,000 followers, what if you found an influencer that had 100,000 or 200,000 or 1,000,000 and they share that and 40,000 people see it? You gotta believe that 1 to 2 people are gonna come in and do that. So a really quick way to do that is if you have Instagram, Instagram's the best platform to do this. You pick a hashtag. So let's just use Botox. You pick hashtag Botox. You go in there and you start looking at all the top posts. It'll rank them on videos as well as images. You start looking through there and then you see who's the highest and then check out where they're located. And if they're located in your city, then you can direct message them. Sometimes they'll answer, sometimes they won't. But now you know who to target. Or you can do the same thing for your location. If you live in Raleigh, North Carolina, hashtag Raleigh. Start looking at all these people. You know who your demographic is. If it's housewives, look for a housewife that's in your demographic that has a ton of people or a ton of engagement on their post. Reach out to her, welcome her in, and get her to become part of your family. And so if you guys want a copy of this, I'll send you that. I'm happy to give you any advice. My goal is to help you all, help anybody, because it's like a piece of pizza that we're eating back there. There's plenty of slices to go around, and we can share as much as we can. And so impact, inspire, and empower everybody that comes into your office.